Hi, Kat Chancellor with Stamp Art Connection. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm going to demonstrate how to make this card using watercolor paper and a watercolor technique. You will need one of the Ombre Stampin Pads, an aqua painter, and a stamping spritzer, and watercolor paper. I'm using 140-pound cold press, and the watercolor paper is cut at 5 3/4. So let's get started. Okay, so we're ready to get started. I've covered my work surface with some paper because the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my watercolor paper, and I have 4 sheets right here. Again, it's cut at 5 3/4. And when you look at the sheets, you can see that one side's got kind of a rough texture and the other side has a much smoother texture. And I don't know if you can tell the difference when I put it up here, but this is the rough texture and this is a smoother texture. Yeah, I think you can probably see the difference. So I like to experiment. So I usually put maybe one rough, one smooth, one rough. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spritz my paper about 3 pumps. And I can see that the water is kind of beating up on it. Okay, so I'm just going to let that sit there. And then I'm going to open up my ombre pad. And the ombre pad starts with the dark color all the way to the light color. Now this is Bermuda Bay. All the ombre pads are one color, starting with the light to the the light to the dark. So I'm going to take one of my papers, and I want it to be. It's already starting to dry up on me, because I want them to be moist. So I'm going to spritz them again. And then I'm just basically going to take this and I'm just going to go like this across. Okay. Then I'm going to spritz it again. There you go. Like that? Okay, so now we're going to take our next one, spritz, because I'm going to make a couple of these. So I have these on hand. Again, I'm just going to take my ombre pad. I'm just going to lay it down flat. And I'm just going to kind of go in a circle motion. And I'm going to spritz it again because I kind of want that to run a little. If I want to cover a piece right here, I might take my aqua painter and just kind of fill in a little bit of the edges that's not quite covered. See that? How it's all kind of blending together? Okay. Clean my aqua painter off. That's good with Bermuda Bay. Very fast. This is still nice and moist. I'm going to grab a towel so I can clean my fingers because it's got Bermuda Bay. Because now I'm going to take my Calypso Coral. Same process. I'm just going to take my stamp pad. My paper is moist. And I'm just going to go across it like this. So. And I'm going to use a little bit of a circular motion because I kind of want to blend that a little bit. Okay. Take my spritzer. And if I want to cover the edges, I'm just going to take my, here we go, just kind of get the edges covered. Put that aside. And get my next one. Same technique. Damp paper, if it's not damp enough, go ahead and spritz it one more time. There we go. And last spritz. Just kind of blend a little bit with my pen. There we go. So, whoops. How about that? So, within just a few minutes, I have made what would have taken me a lot longer if I had taken a pen, a aqua painter, with just one pad and tried to get from dark to light. I would have had to work that color back and forth. I was able to do that same color technique just using my ombre pad. And now I'm going to let these dry, because then I'm going to stamp on them. So we have our backgrounds and they've dried, and I wanted to point out a feature that when I did the background, I did a couple on the rough side, and you can see the difference in how the ink took the color. And I did a couple with the smooth side. There's a difference with how the ink took the color. To stamp on the paper, I recommend that you use the smooth side instead of the rough side. You can use the rough side, but I'm going to save the papers that I did on the rough side for another technique that I'm going to show you in my next video. So I'm going to go ahead and take this background that I made with the from the smooth side to stamp on to make this card, and I'm going to use this is Calypso Coral. This is actually Watermelon Wonder, this color here, and it does go nicely with this, and Crumb Cake. So those are going to be my cards. So I'm going to go ahead and lay down my card. I'm going to take out my StazOn ink, and I'm going to ink it up for my fowls, my little birds, and I'm going to stamp them right about here, because I'm going to use this as my horizon line. There you go. Nice clean stamp. I'm going to use my StazOn cleaner. Clean my stamps. I'm very OCD about my stamps, as you can tell. And then I'm going to use my my plants. They look like stalks of wheat. I'm going to put that right about here. There you go. Very easy card to make. I clean them up. I get them nice and soapy like that with my StazOn. This is simply a baby wipe. Then I clean it with my scrapping scrubber. My stamping scrubber. See, get them nice and soapy. And there you go. So I'm going to put my StazOn away. And there you go. Nice, crisp, and clean because I used the smooth side. Then I'm going to take this pen. I went to a stamp fest and I found this this really cool pen. I'll find the link if you want to buy this. Stampin' Up does not sell this, but it's by Tombow. There's a pen, a kind of a pointy end like a paintbrush end, and then a thin end, and it's acid-free number 89, which is this color. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to give my image some dimension by simply just taking this and running it along the sides of my stalks. You can kind of see them. It almost gives it a bit of a shadow along my leaves. You can kind of see a little bit of depth. I'm going to do my birds as well. Their little legs there. Just the top of the waterline to kind of mark that horizon. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my clear Wink of Stella, and I'm going to do the water right along there. It looks like this is a sunset. The sun is setting the bright orange, and the Wink of Stella kind of gives it a little bit, if you can see that kind of shimmer. I love it. Looks great. And then I can go ahead and stamp a sentiment on this card and put it on my cards. Now, I like to use this this tape. It's a two-way tape by Stampin' Up. I'm using it instead of a snail because this is heavy paper and it has rolled a little bit because it has been wet. So I want to make sure that this paper does not pop off my card. So I'm going to use this tape. And I just put it down. I just pick up the corner with my X-Acto blade. It's very fast. There we go. Now I can use my regular snail adhesive to mount it on my card base. And there you go. Beautiful wetland stamp sets using a watercolor technique on watercolor paper with the Stampin' Up Ombre pads. This one in Bermuda, this one in Calypso Coral. Makes a very nice masculine card. All that's missing here is the sentiment for the man in your life, the boy in your life, for the guy in your life. Hope you liked it. That's Kat Chancellor, Stamp Up Connection, and happy stamping.